introduce you to a revolutionary program that since 2004 has helped thousands of homeowners all across America get ahead financially and on track to save millions of dollars in interest payments on their mortgages and other debts.
Hello, fellow homeowner. Let's take a minute to dive into your mortgage numbers for a quick reality check. This is my beautiful new home, which I purchased for $452,000 with a 30-year mortgage at a 4.99% interest rate. Which is fine, pretty standard for today's market. But then, a couple months later, I stumbled upon a section in my disclosure documents that revealed a startling truth. In the first 5 years of my loan, I will have paid a total of $153,965, but with only $36,993 of that making any dent in the principal. The rest? Well, the bank pockets that. Over $117,000 in interest? That doesn't sound like a 4.99% interest rate, does it? So I dug deeper into my loan and I found a section called the TIP, or Total Interest Percentage, which showed me that I'm actually paying a staggering 93.036% in total interest percentage. So let's crunch those numbers. 452,000 multiplied by 0.93036 equals a jaw-dropping $420,522.72. Unbelievable, right? But there is a better way. What if I told you that you can turn the tables on the banks using their own tricks and technology against them? You could pay off your mortgage in less than half the time. It may sound too good to be true, just as I thought, until I discovered my path to a debt-free future and received a personalized debt reduction analysis. This plan reveals that I can have my house, car, student loans, and credit cards all paid off in just 8.5 years instead of the 30-year journey the banks want us on. And that will save me an incredible $318,000 in interest, all without making any dramatic budget or lifestyle changes. So, are you ready to discover how you can be totally debt-free, including your mortgage in less than 10 years?
And as a result, eligible homeowners are now able to pay their 30-year mortgages off in as little as 5 to 7 years, all without changing their current lifestyle and without any refinancing required. Paying off your mortgage is a lot like taking a road trip. However, instead of you choosing the route, the bank hands you a map with each and every turn they want you to take. It's an exact schedule of payments every month for 30 years. And the bank's schedule is not the fastest route. In fact, their schedule zigzags and goes on for miles of unnecessary distance. Are there better routes? Absolutely. The closest distance between 2 points is a straight line, correct? Well, this program shows you the straight line and how eligible homeowners can fly through their mortgage in as little as 5 to 7 years. How does this program get you paid off so fast? Before I share this secret, I want you to understand that banks are very good at building wealth with your money. As an important part of their wealth building strategy, the banking industry has taught us to keep our money separate. What do I mean by separate? Well, we are taught to set up our checking and/or savings account and deposit our money over here. And we're taught to take out our loans and make payments to those loans separately over there, never combining our positive cash accounts with our interest-charging loan accounts. But who benefits from this separate account structure more, you or the banks? To understand why we are taught to manage our finances separately like this, we need to understand some basic principles of banking and money and how it works. Each time we deposit and hold money in our checking and/or savings accounts, also known as deposit accounts, the lender makes money off of interest by lending our money out in the form of loans to borrowers. And each time we take out a loan, the lender again makes money each time we pay them an interest payment. So let's go over a couple quick examples of how our money helps the lending industry build wealth. Let's say, based on the money account holders like you and me have deposited in our checking and savings accounts, the bank lends out $5,000 to other borrowers in the form of credit cards. And while we earn close to zero interest on our money, the lender earns around 18% interest on those credit cards. That means that the lender was able to earn roughly $900 in interest annually based on our money, while we earn close to zero. As another example, let's say we take out a 30-year, $300,000 mortgage at 4.5%. 4.5% doesn't seem like it would add up to much, does it? But over this 30-year mortgage, we would pay over $247,000 just in interest payments. That's actually over 82% of the original loan amount you borrowed, just in interest. Quite a far cry from the seemingly reasonable 4.5% rate, right? By following this simple concept of holding billions of dollars worth of banking clients' money on one side, and then lending our money back to us with interest on the other, the lending industry is able to build tremendous wealth. Now think about this. With all things being equal, the more money we owe, the more interest they collect. And the less money we owe, the less interest they collect. So, if banks make more money based on the total amount we owe, there's one guaranteed way to reduce the total amount we owe immediately. What if, instead of following the bank's map of keeping your accounts separate, you could actually transfer or merge the money in your deposit accounts against your loan accounts, literally decreasing the total amount owed immediately. By doing this, it would instantly bring down the amount you owe, and thus reduce the amount of time and interest the bank has you scheduled to pay. Again, the less money you owe on your debts, the less interest you will pay, right? With that being said, we would now like to introduce you to the Money Max account. The Money Max account is a smart online financial system programmed with extremely effective debt elimination strategies. The Money Max account utilizes a standard checking and savings account and strategic financial algorithms to help drive its debt elimination strategies. With these financial algorithms, the system is programmed to constantly analyze and identify the most strategic debts to eliminate in the most beneficial order and timing. The system monitors your finances 24/7 and constantly calculates the specific timing and amounts of money to transfer from your checking and/or savings accounts to strategically reduce each of your loan balances, thus lowering the balance in which interest accrues and canceling an optimum amount of time and interest charges on your loans. The debt elimination system is specifically programmed to help eliminate all of your debt, including up to a 30-year mortgage in as little as 5 to 7 years, while saving tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, without requiring you to change any of your current budgets. The Money Max account is like having 100 accountants working 24/7, calculating and strategizing the exact timing, amount, and frequency of each transfer in order to achieve some of the greatest time and interest savings imaginable. And it's as easy to use as point and click. As you can see, you are now canceling out an optimum amount of time and interest charges with each and every step you take. And by continuing to follow the program's cycle of strategic transfers and deposits, you literally change your mortgage schedule, effectively canceling out tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in scheduled interest charges, and accelerate the payoff of your mortgage and other debts to a fraction of their regular time. Now, do you remember our $300,000 mortgage example? The mortgage that would normally charge over $247,000 in interest charges over 30 years? By using our online financial acceleration system, this same mortgage could now be 100% paid off in as little as 5 to 7 years, paying as little as $68,000 in interest charges versus $247,000 in interest. That's a savings of up to $179,000 in interest and up to 25 years worth of canceled mortgage payments. And again, the Money Max account doesn't just work on mortgages. It also strategically identifies the fastest way to accelerate the payoff of all of your debts. We know that you and your family are unique, and no two homeowners' finances are the same. In just a few minutes, the Money Max account can tell you how much time and money you can save. Maybe your payoff is 10 plus years, maybe it's 7, or maybe it's 5. What's your debt-free number? What could you do with up to 23 to 25 years worth of mortgage payments back in your pocket? Imagine now being able to invest that money and earn interest instead of just handing it over to the bank. It's things like this that change our financial future and puts a big smile on people's faces. Of course, you can see why the creators of this award-winning program have been featured in magazines such as Broker Banker, Real Estate Investor, and Success from Home magazine. They've also won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award in the financial services category.
Samson from Southern California. It's real interesting that when something comes your way and how life changes you and how God blesses you in certain ways. And in February, I'm pretty new to the MMA, and on February 27th of 2024, I was looking for something special. I was getting close to my 60th birthday, so I have to readjust my my life insurances and so forth with my queen. And I started searching on Google for a company that will help me pay off our rental properties. I said, well, if I can get a mortgage insurance, then when I do my adjustment for my life insurance and my IULs or whole life policies, then I can kind of make some better decisions. So I Googled, nothing came up, couldn't find a company, started checking around for a couple of days. And a few days later, I think on the 29th, yes, it was 29th of February, the leap year, 29th of February 2024, I saw an ad that says pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years. And I went, that's interesting. And it made me think back to 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, in my previous life, I should say, when I was in the mortgage industry, there was a company from Australia that came into the United States, and they offered this refinance product that will allow you to pay off your loan in 5 to 7 years. And the company came to our office, called us and says, hey, we have a refinancing program we'd like to discuss with you. I'm like, well, everybody has a refinancing program. What's the big deal? They said, well, this is a 30-year refinance, but you're allowed to pay off the loan in 5 to 7 years. And I went, okay, well, now you have my interest. So they came by the office, they showed me the process, and I was absolutely blown away how it worked. I didn't understand it at first, but after explaining it, because it sounded too good to be true, so I kind of paid closer attention, and then it worked. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it on my home because they wouldn't do more than $1 million. But my family, friends, I was getting everybody refinanced and everyone debt-free in 5 to 7 years. So it worked out great. So when I saw this ad on Facebook, I went, wow, did the company come back to the United States 20 years later? So of course, I filled it out. It's really interesting. And before I tell you what happened when I filled it out, I'll tell you how God blesses you and how the scenario works in life. So, and I have to start that with a little story. There was a gentleman many, many years ago, really, really bad flood in the United States. And the flood started, and a bus came by his home and says, you know, we need to evacuate you because this flood's getting really bad. And he said, no, I'll be okay. I've been through floods before, no big deal. And the flood started getting a little bit worse. And a boat came by, says, the flood's getting worse. You really need to get into this boat. And he said, no, I'll be okay. It's no big deal. Then a couple of days go by. Now the flood's getting really bad. Now he's all the way on his roof of his house now. Helicopter comes by. He said, no, I think it's going to start receding. It's been a day or two. We'll be okay. So long story short, the flood got worse. And now he's been a great person, so now he's in heaven. And he went to God. He says, God, why did this happen to me? I mean, I died. God said to him, well, I sent you a bus, I sent you a boat, and I sent you a helicopter. What did you do? So it makes me think about that when I saw that ad on Facebook, because a lot of people don't understand the signs that you get in life, the things that God sends you to change your life, to make your life better, to make your family better, make things better in your life. So when I saw this ad, and I'm not a big Facebook ad because you guys know whenever you Google something, all these ads pop up in your social media. For some reason, I looked at that ad as my bus, my boat, or my helicopter, and I filled it out. And someone by the name of Allie reached out to me, and she says, "Oh, I can set up a Zoom for you." I'm like, "Nope, not interested in Zoom," because here we go with another ad. I'm like, "Nope, not interested, but I tell you what you can do. You can send me a couple videos and I'll take a look." Within 40 seconds of video number 1, I got it right away because I had experience in a loan like this 20 years ago. So my thought was, is this the same company? Is it a loan? So as soon as I saw the first video she sent me, of course, I jumped on a call with her right now. "Hey, I need to know more. Is this a loan?" To find out it isn't a loan. You don't have to refinance. You don't have to get a loan or do anything. It's just software that they spent a gazillion dollars on. I think the number I heard, and again, I've only been with the company going on 2 months now. They spent like $14 million into software to get it done. So Allie took her time. She was very, very professional, showed me. She says, "Well, let's put some numbers in. Let me show you how it works." So we did pop in that Zoom because look, the boat, the bus, or the helicopter, I decided to get on. So I got on, she showed me the numbers. And in fact, I have my numbers here to the left. When I did the numbers, it didn't take very long to do it. It showed that I will save $871,886 in interest, and I will be completely debt-free in 4.6 years. I went, "Where do I sign? I'm done." I said, "What is this going to cost me?" She says, "Well, if you become an agent, you'll get a 10% discount." I'm like, "Well, I'm not really interested in becoming an agent, but how much is it anyway?" She said it's $39.95. I'm like, "Okay, so I'm going to pay you $39.95, and the software is going to save me $871,000. Where do I sign? I'll do it any day, twice on Sundays. In fact, you're not charging me anything because if I'm giving you $3,900 and you're giving me $871 in savings, there's no cost to the program. You're paying me to use the program." So I'm like, that's the biggest no-brainer in the world. So she said, "Well, you really want to consider this 10% discount." I'm like, "Well, 10% discount, $400. Not bad. Okay, so what do I have to do for the 10% discount?" She said, "Well, for $149, you can join this crusade that we're on. You can join this crusade to help people and change people's lives because we do know that most of America is in massive debt." I'm like, I'm okay with the crusade, not too bad. I mean, if we can help people, because I'm being helped. God led me to this Facebook ad and led me to you, so you're blessing me. So it's a great thing to bless others. So I said, for $149, I get to save $400 on the price. That's another no-brainer. How come this company is giving so many no-brainers? I don't get it. So I'm figuring, okay, so this is definitely not the company that was around 20 years ago. So I asked her, I said, "How long has this company been around?" She said, "About 20 years. But they saw what the other company was doing, and the owners of this company took note and decided to put it in a non-loan format." So I'm like, this is brilliant. How come I've never heard about this before? But again, many people, look, when the time is right for you to see something or learn something, God will put it in your vision. Now it's up to you to make that movement, but He puts it in your vision. So I went, okay, I'm going to give you my 149 and let's see what happens. Now, let me talk about the 149 portion first, because that to me is just as big, if not bigger, than the $871,000. Because yes, it's $871,000 for me, but I like to help. I like to do whatever I can to help others. And it's great to help myself, but helping others is such a bigger blessing. So I said, okay, 149, I can show people this and get it done. And I didn't understand the pay comp plan they were going to give me, or what type of referral fees I'll get. I knew it was kind of like an agency business. So she mentioned to me, well, you can jump in this call with this great guy named Lynn and this young lady named Di, and they will explain everything to you. I'm like, okay, I can do that. When's the call? She said, well, there's one tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay, I'll jump on. So I jumped on the call and I was blown away. So I saw the compensation plan. It said about making $1,000 a day. I went, wait a minute. Okay, so let me see if I understand. Wait, hold on, back up. Let me go over all this again so I can kind of understand. Because you're throwing so much stuff at me right now. Let me see if I can comprehend this. I paid you $3,500. You're saving me $871,886. Then I paid you $149. You're telling me I can make $1,000 a day. Something is not. Wait, I don't get it. Is this real? So I'm thinking, is this real? So then I'm like, you know what? My personality is I fire, ready, aim. I'm like, I'm jumping in. Let's jump in and see what's going to happen. So I jumped on the call, heard Lynn and Di talk about I can make $1,000 a day. I'm like, $1,000 a day, that's 30 grand a month. If I can make 30 grand a month, I wonder what we'll do to my 4.6 years. Because I'm looking at the system going, well, wait a minute. The Money Max account works without me spending any additional money. That means whatever I spend, I'm already spending. I don't have to add any money to become debt-free in 4.6 years. That's how the software works, because it uses what the bank does against us, now we get to do to the bank. So it was brilliant. So I don't have to spend an extra dollar, because a lot of people misunderstand that. Just like the gentleman misunderstood the boat, he misunderstood the bus, and he misunderstood the helicopter. Quit misunderstanding stuff. So look, God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth. I try to use it in that proportion. So I'm listening to Len and Di, and Len and Di tells me I can make $1,000 a day, and Ali tells me I can save $871,000. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna believe you guys. So I just decided to get on these calls every single day and tell every person I knew that I found the secret to becoming debt-free. In fact, I went on my Facebook Live, I said, I found a secret that I need to tell everyone. I'm learning about it. Come learn with me. So now this is February 29th, 2024. So I jumped in my first meeting on March 1st, 2024. Listened, got the information, jumped in, and let's wind the clock forward now 2 months. Now this is April 26, 2024. So we're at 1 month and 26 days. That $1,000 a day wasn't correct, because I'm over $1,000 a day. I'm at over $60,000 in commissions made with the company. And the $871,000, I'm already at $35,343 saved in interest. Now, those 2 numbers may be impressive to you, but they're not as impressive to me as this number. This is the most impressive number to me. As of today, I have helped my friends and family save $110,853.20 in interest. That's the biggest number to me. And for the future and the hope of the MMA, the people I've introduced to the program, we are on track, or they have $16,037,241.33 worth of debt that we're going to eliminate. That's the number I'm impressed with. Look, I like my little $871,000 number, and I love my $1,000 a day, which I think will be $2,000 a day, and then $3,000 a day, then $4,000 a day. But it's not as impressive as that $60 million number, because the key is when you can help someone and you can show someone, just like I've heard a couple other people's testimonies with this company, and it gives them hope. It gives them something that they can do. It gives them something to live for again, so they're not in debt till they're 70 years old or 80 years old or 90 years old. That's the special part. So I fully didn't understand everything right away. I started calling the customer support, asking millions of questions, wanted to make sure everything. I have never met a company like United Financial Freedom with such an amazing support staff. They get back to you, they answer your questions. I was on support yesterday, asking them again, okay, so if I tweak this and if I do this, how would this work? And as of this morning, again, my most important part is how many people I can help. But as of this morning, I'm not at 4.6 years anymore. I'm at 2.2 years. Because what I was able to do now is take the funds that they're helping you with, and now, yes, this is not required for you to pay any extra into it, but if the company is going to pay me $1,000 a day, why wouldn't I take $750 of that and add that to my MMA so I can lower my debt and get faster? It is the biggest no-brainer on the planet. So for anyone hearing my voice, God just sent you a bus, a boat, and a helicopter. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with that information that's been given to you. So God bless UFF, the owners, everyone that helps, and the MMA. This has been absolutely brilliant.
Be sure to get back with the representative who sent you this video and ask them to run a free savings report that will show you just how much time and money this program could save you. What's your debt-free number?